So the anime starts with Noir, our protagonist, who wanted to start earning money on his own by working in a library, but due to a certain someone from a higher noble family, Noir lost his job before he even started. So his sister Alice suggests that he study at the Hero Academy, which will basically set him up for life if he passes. But the problem was his great sage skill, which answered his every question but gave Noir a terrible headache every time he used it. So his childhood friend Emma came up with a solution she read about in a book. If Noir kisses someone after using the skill, he may be able to avoid the headache. So Noir gave it a shot and used his great skill to gain power. As a result, Sage revealed the location of the hidden dungeon where he could gain power. And then the headache came, but then Emma's trick worked. As they kissed, the headache faded away. With that, Noir went to the dungeon and found a pretty lady chained up. Her name is Olivia, and she was a great adventurer about 200 years ago. And during one of her expeditions, she discovered this dungeon, explored it, defeated the monster, but became trapped inside by death chains. So Noir told her that he wanted to be powerful, so Olivia gave Noir her own skills, which are creative, bestow, and editor, but it costs LP to cast the spell. However, in order to earn the LP, Noir must fulfill his desire to the fullest. The more thoroughly he fulfills his desire, the more rewarding it becomes. So Noir first tested it on his sister Alice and learned about earning LP. When Noir arrived at the Hero Academy, Emma followed him and enrolled as a student. Noir had to have at least 3 people on his team for an expedition to collect magical items on his entrance exam. But no one wanted to work with him because he comes from a lower noble family of baronets. But then Lenore agreed to join his team, and on the expedition they nailed the test with the highest score, but no one would have believed that it was Noir who took out the Reaper, so he gave his credit to Lenore. But the problem was the entry fee, which was 300 million, and Noir didn't have that kind of money, so he joined the Adventurers Guild known as Odin to earn the money himself. But one of the guild receptionists, Lola, did not believe Noir that he possessed the skills of the greatest adventurer, Olivia. But, after confirming his abilities, Lolo assigned him the ideal job for him to quickly earn the money he requires. That was to catch a rare grasshopper, but Emma followed him there and became an adventurer, and since Noir has proven that he is Olivia's successor, Lola's was trying to get close to him. This resulted in a cat fight between Emma and Lola, but before things got too heated, Noir intervened and calmed things down between them. So Noir took on another job by coaxing Lola a little bit more. That was to hunt down the giant rabbit, and seeing it, Emma wanted to defeat the rabbit on her own, but her powers were lacking, and Noir was lacking LP to use his creative ability to make her powerful. So Noir began to do some strange things to Emma in order to earn enough LP to defeat the rabbit and earn enough money to enter the Hero Academy. But because everyone there was a higher noble, everyone kept Noir out of the circle and were hitting on Emma. But when the Duke's daughter Maria greeted Noir, everyone's attitude changed. When they were learning a defense skill in class, everyone wanted to pair up with the Duke's daughter Maria, but for some reason, she paired up with Noir. But after learning that skill, she became so weak that her friend Amane had to accompany her out. That's when Noir realized Maria's curse was taking her life at the age of 16. Noir became concerned and decides to seek help from Lola. She may know someone who can carry out the curse because she works as a guild receptionist. And she had just the right person for the job. She was a temple cleric. So, while Lola went to her friend for assistance, Noir turned to Olivia, who suggested creating a skill that will amplify his luck, and it came in handy as Noir's luck increased. And Lola brought her elf friend, Luna, a beautiful elf, and seeing her figure, Emma was quite jealous. Aside from that, they explained their situation, and Luna, coincidentally, knew about Maria's situation. Her family had come to her for help for a long time, but she was powerless to help them. So, out of curiosity, Noir checked her skill status and discovered that whenever she lifted the curse, her lifespan gets reduced. So Noir confronted her in private about this, and Luna told her that her mother was the same as her, a cleric, and that even though her life was getting shorter, she kept helping others, which resulted in her early death. But then a nearby building collapsed, injuring a child, and Luna used her healing G powers to save him. However, this had the unintended consequence of making her terrified of seeing blood. But after this, she has decided to save Maria even if it means risking her own life. When Lolo found out about this, she was furious that she hadn't told her about her lifespan being reduced and was opposed to her healing Maria. So Noir told them about his ability to gain LP and edit Luna's skill so that she would not lose her lifespan but would lose money whenever she lifted a curse. But now that her lifespan issue has been resolved, they must figure out how to earn enough money for Luna to carry out the curse on Maria. At the time, Lolo had the bright idea of competing in a harem tournament. where the audience is mostly lonely men who make fun of the girls who took part in it. But there was one harem that received a score of 2,700 out of 3,000. Everyone was worried when they saw this, but Emma took charge by introducing herself in such a cute way that everyone fell in love with her. Luna and Lola followed in her lead and did the same. But the event's host, a nobleman named Pipro, didn't want them to take victory so easily, so he set up a situation in which everyone just nailed it, and seeing this, all those loners were jealous. Anyway, they raised enough money to break the curse and got to the Duke's mansion just in time because Maria's situation was rapidly declining. And, once again, thanks to Noir abilities, Luna was able to lift the curse on Maria. And Maria was so grateful that she became a member of Noir's harem. To show his appreciation, Maria's father gave 3 of them a large sum of money. But the issue for Noir was that his father might end up using it for gambling. Noir desired to open his own item shop, and her sister promised to keep an eye on her father so that he did not end using money on gambling. So, in order to obtain the magical items, Noir must return to the dungeon and collect some nice monster items for the shop. On the 5th floor, however, Noir encounters a black lion with a tulip on his head, whose name is Tiger Sun. He had one request of Noir: lead him to the 6th floor in exchange for finding a long-lost friend of his who vanished 300 years ago, an elf. And, as promised, Noir found his friend, but he had been transformed into a zombie, so Noir neutralized the effects with his skill. And both escaped the dungeon, but now the elf has decided to return to the elf village to reunite with his love, but elf do not allow other races to enter. So he had to leave Tiger Sun behind, but seeing how heartbroken Tiger Sun was, Noir offered him the opportunity to stay with him. As a result, today's video has come to an end. Stay tuned for the second half and subscribe to get the latest.